This will be an unboxing and quick review of a Pagani model PD-1671, which is an homage to a Tudor Black Bay heritage. This is one watch that's been on my radar for a while, and usually they're in the $80 to $100 price range. But I did find this on sale on AliExpress for $44 US. Really good price, so I went ahead and purchased this. So let's go ahead and unbox it and take a look. So obviously you're gonna get the standard Pagani design cardboard box. Inside, we have the typical cleaning cloth and the watch. There's a little hang tag here and an instruction manual. Let's go ahead and take a look at the watch. Now, I have not removed any of the plastic on this watch, so let me go ahead and do that, and we'll come back and do a quick review. Those that are familiar with this watch already know that this is an homage to a Tudor Black Bay. But this watch is a little bit unique in that it has some characteristics of some various different models from Tudor. So this one obviously has a date at 3, which most Black Bays do not, except for the Heritage model. And this watch also has square hour markers. Usually we see round hour markers on the Black Bays. So this watch really reminds us a little bit of a Pelagos Black Bay mixture. So I like to actually call this a Heritage Pelagos Bay. This Pagani is actually a V1 version. So it's about 2 to 3 years older than the newest V2 version. Now with the V2 version, they updated the dial, so it does not have a date and it actually has round hour markers to better homage the actual Black Bay. So let's talk dimensions on this watch. It has a bezel diameter of 42.25, which does overhang the case just slightly. I measured the case diameter at 41.25. The thickness is 15 millimeters, including the crystal. Has a lug-to-lug of 50 millimeters, and fortunately this does have female inverted end links so that the end links do not add any lug-to-lug width. And the lug width itself is 22 millimeters. Now the proportions of this watch are actually pretty close to an actual Black Bay. The Black Bay diameter is listed at 41 millimeters. And I don't know if that's a bezel diameter or a case diameter. So if it is a case diameter, the cases are essentially the same size. The 42 millimeter bezel diameter might be a little closer to an actual Pelagos. So again, this is kind of a mixture of a Pelagos and a Black Bay heritage. So one of the reasons why this watch was on my short list was because of its dimensions. I wanted to see how it fit on my 6.5-inch wrist. I am seriously considering purchasing a Tudor, and I'm not sure if I'd go with a Pelagos or a Black Bay. So I thought I'd purchase this watch, wear it for a while, and see if I found it comfortable. Now this V1 version is offered in different colorways. This one happens to have a burgundy aluminum insert on the bezel, has a black dial with a waffle pattern, and gold accent hands and arrow markers. I believe this is also offered in an all black version and a blue bezel version. Let's go over some of the features of this watch. So we're looking at a all stainless steel construction case and bracelet. We have horizontal brushing on the sides, and that is a little bit different than a Tudor Black Bay because usually those are polished on the sides, on the flanks. It has a radial brushing on top of the case, and it has a polished chamfer. We have a 90-click rotating bezel that's actually very well aligned, so good job Pagani with that one. Let's go ahead and take a listen. Now it does have a little bit of back play, but not much. Actually very nice bezel action. 90 click. It features a screw down crown with a signed Pagani logo. There's actually a red collar on the crown, kind of matches the bezel insert. We have a Pagani logo at the 12 o'clock position, and at the 6 o'clock position it says automatic, water resistant, 10 bar, 100 meter. We have square applied hour indices. We have snowflake hour hand and second hand. We have a date at 3. Now this watch has a black dial with a waffle texture to it. I'll see if I can pick that up in the light. You can kind of see that texturing there. Yeah, so this is actually a very attractive watch. This is probably one of the better quality Pagani watches that I own. On the back, we have an exhibition case back. It says stainless steel, Pagani design, water resistant, 100 meters. This has a Seiko/TMI NH35 movement. Sapphire crystal, which is a boxed dome edge construction. So there's a little bit of distortion that we see here, but there's not a lot of dome to it. But let's go ahead and test that, make sure it's sapphire. And we are testing a sapphire. We have a screw down crown with the Pagani logo. Has a red collar, which matches the red bezel insert. Let's go ahead and unthread it. Now the first position is going to be your hand winding position. The second position should be date. Now, whenever you set the date, make sure that your hour hand is not between, I'd say, 9 and 3. And I believe we go counterclockwise to set the date. And then our third position out should be hacking and time setting. There we go. And then we're going to push it back in and carefully engage the threads and screw it back in. Make sure not to cross thread the threads and hand tighten it, but not too tight. The bracelet has 22 millimeter solid end links. It's a 5-link construction, which is fully brushed except for the end pieces, which are polished. It has rivet construction. It has screw pins for easy adjustment. The clasp assembly has a Pagani design logo engraved. It's a push to release clasp assembly, which has an internally milled scissor assembly. It has 3 holes for micro adjustment. And this one actually also has a diver's extension. Okay, I went ahead and sized the watch. I removed a total of 5 links. And as mentioned before, these are screw pin links. Now, I have read online where these might come loose, so it might be a good idea to put some medium grade Loctite on these screw pins. And here's the watch on my 6.5-inch wrist. So it is a bit of a chunky watch at 15 millimeters, but it actually feels pretty good. And for comparison, here's a San Martin Pelagos Homage in 39 millimeters on my 6.5-inch wrist. And here is another Pagani design. This is a 39 millimeter Black Bay 58 chronograph Homage. All right, let's go ahead and do a lume comparison. First up is a Pagani quartz chronograph. Next is our review watch, and you can tell this has a bit of a faux patina to the lume. It has a little bit of a yellow tint to it. Next up is a San Martin Pelagos 39 Homage. And finally, a Seiko 5KX. I gave these watches a healthy charge. Let's go ahead and hit the lights and see how they perform. Well, as to be expected, the San Martin and the Seiko are the clear winners. Unfortunately, Pagani underperforms. So So I went ahead and threw this on the time grapher just to see how it would perform. Now I don't know if Pagani regulates these movements during assembly or not. This is my very first automatic Pagani watch. But it looks like the rate is running about -1 to +1 seconds per day in a dial-up position, which is a pretty good reading actually. Now that might run a little slow on my wrist, so usually I like to set these at about +6 to +8 seconds in a dial-up position. We have an amplitude in the 260 range, a beat error about 1 millisecond at the proper lift angle of 53 degrees. So I'll probably have to go in and do a little bit of regulation, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. So what are my overall views of this watch? Well, it's got some pretty decent specs and features. To sum it up, you're getting a sapphire crystal, you have an excellent bezel that's properly aligned, screw down crown, all stainless steel construction, pretty nice bracelet and clasp assembly, a Seiko NH35 automatic movement with exhibition case back. So spec-wise, yes, this watch hits the marks. Where does it miss? Well, it's a big watch, and I knew that before I purchased it. And as mentioned earlier, that's the reason why I purchased it, because I wanted to see if my 6.5-inch wrist could accommodate a Black Bay 41 or a Pelagos 42. So I'm gonna wear this for a while and see what I think. Now, where does the watch fall short? I would say mainly just in the lume department, but we already kind of knew that. Pagani's not known for their lume, and we can't expect San Martin or Seiko lume at this price point. Regarding price point, again, I paid $44 on sale on AliExpress. Now, I don't think I would have purchased this watch for the full price of $80 to $100, but when I saw it on sale, I thought I'd jump on it because $44, you really can't go wrong. Anyways, if you have any questions, please leave them down below, and thank you for watching.